we're talking about wasting $30,000 to $50,000 for someone who we don't necessarily, may not know. They know very little about our great city or our city culture, and who else is going to train them but our assistant city manager? We've heard from the doctors the other day that we didn't pass the mask issue. If things continue to get worse, it may come to that. And if things continue, it may become more prevalent that we shut down the city if the governor so desires. And we may need just $30,000 to keep the lights on. I've heard some of you say that we really need to check on, maybe get some new ideas or new ways of doing things. Personally, I think the city is rocking on all cylinders, and I'm not necessarily think we need any new ideas. We as a city commission get along. We have great synergy. We may disagree, but it doesn't go beyond the conference room. I've seen many cities around our area that have infighting, and they change city managers like a lot of people change their underwear. I grew up in Lakewood on Belvedere Street. The next street south of me was Maxwell. As a young man, I used to go to Bill Yuki's house, who was one of our long-time city managers. Spent a lot of time with him. In turn, after him came assistant city manager James Strickland. After him came his assistant city manager, Mr. Harr. And then they decided to do a selection by going out of search, because I think at the time Tony had been briefly on the job coming over from RP funding. And in retrospect, I have heard from many of my past city commissioners that in retrospect, they wish they had picked Tony to begin with. And then when Doug left, one of my first meetings in the city chambers here, we selected Tony to come on and be our city manager. I think the time is right. I think we allow Sean to take his spot at the plate. If it doesn't work, we can fire him. And of course, again, he is my pick. I think he will be, regardless of who we interviews we think. I'm kind of biased. I think I know what we're getting, and that's really all I need to say. And of course, we've got this list. If we think we would need it back in January, February, we could discuss it again. But if we want to go ahead and pick a group now in the future, that's prevalent. But I would personally like to see us just squash and have him become our interim city commissioner from now to 26th of September to December 31st. And then we go from there and see what happens. I don't think time is immediate that we need to pick somebody right now. And that's all I really want to say. But if you want, I have made a selection of three teams, and I will rank them as such.
Before you do, because I think that interlude, first of all, was very, very well stated, and that history is important. And there's a great deal of mutual enthusiasm. I think it might be appropriate to have any other city commissioners comment on that may want to weigh in. So Commissioner Walker, and then Commissioner Franklin, and then Commissioner McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and certainly I can appreciate Commissioner Reed and hopefully, sharing what he did share and opening up the discussion at this point. I think when we even talked about going this route, initially I also was concerned as to, we have succession planning in place through all our departments here in our city. We try to make sure that we know that, and we've been told, well, of course, before this commission came to fruition as we are, but at the onset of the new commission, I call it the existing commission, we were told that, we're going to have probably, even not only in our city management particular area, all throughout the scope of the city as a whole, in a 5-year cycle, we will see different ones leaving, and that's had to do with the normal attrition in some respect, but mostly because of retirements. And we want to make sure, as the former commissioner indicated and shared with our city management, to make sure that we do what we can to make sure there are people in place to make to have succession planning appropriate. I think we've done that even in this respect as well. And even when we were talking about, again, initially, the discussion of moving forward with city manager, replacement of city manager, I thought it's best at that time. I thought, well, hey, we have someone again who is in a position who served very well these last 5-6 years, or maybe I think it is now, but who has a resume that come with a very good track record. And of course, being, as Commissioner Reed has already said and indicated, from our vicinity, that knows our city, knows our likes and somewhat dislikes, I would say, and been around enough to know Lakeland, know Polk County. I say to all different ones I speak with on a regular basis, as much as I do, even my family and friends that come to visit here in Lakeland, we're different. We're a little unique. Even though we sit in the I-4 corridor between two major metropolises, east and west of us, still we're unique, I believe, in our particular way of doing things and how we continue to strive and be that little, I call, city on the hill that shines. And that's because we do have those of us that we work well together. We continue to make sure that we do what's best for all people here in our city, even though some may think it's not the case. But we do that, and I think we've done that over the years and continue to prove what Lakeland is. So I agree with you, Commissioner Reed. I said, as a team player, I'll go along with what was recommended. I try to make sure that I'm a team player, and I think you always say that I have been doing that all along as being somewhat the senior man here on this commission, even today. But certainly know that we have a person in the hopper that can fall right in and they can move, really well, and give them the opportunity, be given the opportunity to the interim person. And again, if it doesn't work out, yes. Race relation for all. And I think it's going to take someone, at the helm to support what we do as a commission to move forward. You don't
Thank you, and Commissioner Reed, I appreciate your thoughts, and I certainly share a lot of your sentiments about Sean and the work he's done. I think those are all, to me, those are all things that would give him a significant head start over any candidate that we might consider. And those are the things that we know. But to me, what the process like this would do would help us find out the things that we don't know. And, blind spots are called blind spots for a reason. You just don't process, we had scores of really safe candidates, people that no one would have second guessed our decision to choose them. Gene was a bit of an extension there. He was much younger than the other candidates we had, but he brought things to the table that we didn't know could be done. And I think we could clearly say, looking at the success we've had in the airport, 30 or 50 or $500, whatever it would have taken to get him here was far worth it in the long run. So, if we go through this process and our current internal staff rise.
As the assistant. So I was through that, and there were a lot of different candidates. And just sort of see how his experience. Auburndale is 10,000 people, Lakeland's 90. I think for me, being to see people financial backgrounds and how they have and the managers have said that we have heard
Thank you and good morning. Many of my thoughts have been shared, but I still strongly support the search process using an external firm. I have shared with people that I believe a position of this magnitude, as Commissioner
very well supported that they were the best candidate. I think, which, by the way, Sean has explained. Has already invested, and so we hear that it's not to be excluded. It's Commissioner Madden, I did not see your hand. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I didn't raise it, so there's no apology needed, but I would be happy. After we realized she was the best for having us. So I'm all about this. I love it. You know, this morning.
We're talking about with someone having internal to be a social promotion thing. I look at it being consistent as what we ask. Conrad, well, look what we had gone through for years. You know what about that trouble in some effective, situations, and yeah, I mean. Why we should went the route that I think Commissioner Reed was attesting to as he made comments, but I want to share I just said that.
Thoughts, and we'll take yours for it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Again, I hate to do this, but I'm going to put our city manager on the spot. He's listening. I'm seeing him here. I
it's a bit of a catch-22, but I'm glad it's your decision and not mine.
With that, I'll go ahead and give you my selections. Number 1 would be Collins. Number 2 is Mercer. Number 3, actually, I narrowed it down to 1 and 2. I just kind of threw number 3 in there as a SGR, and only because we have an individual within that organization that has a very good knowledge of the inner workings of the city of Lakeland. And if anybody could assist us for picking the right candidate, that might be the firm to go with. But invariably, that would be my number 3 as a SGR. I don't have a number 4.
And you don't have number 4.
I don't have a number 4.
All right. That's all right. You can do that. Who would like to go next? Commissioner McLeod.
Thank you. My number 1 is SGR. Number 2 is Colin Basinger. Number 3, Ralph Anderson. And 4 is GovHR.
All right. And next, Commissioner McCarley.
My number 1 is Ralph Anderson. Number 2 is GovHR. 3 is Colin Basinger. And 4 is Mercer.
Excellent. You got him. Next. I'll go. My number 1 is SGR. My number 2 is Colin Basinger. 3, HGR. Number 4, Mercer. 3 is HGR, sorry. And 4, Mercer.
I'm sorry, what is HGR? HR Gov?
HR Gov.
I'm sorry, HR Gov. It was my dyslexic moment.
No, that's okay. So that's number 3.
Yes, and number 4 is Mercer.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Who's next? Commissioner Franklin. You're muted still, Scott. Sorry.
Is that better? Okay. First choice would be Ralph Anderson Associates. 2nd, Colin Basinger. 3rd, Government HR. And 4th, Mercer.
Commissioner Madden.
1, I have Ralph Anderson. 2, SGR. 3, ADK Consulting. And 4.
Just a little slower. So 1 was Ralph Anderson. 2 was SGR. 3 was what?
ADK Consulting. And 4 was the GovHR.
HR Gov. We did. We're on the same wavelength today. I don't know what that is. Okay. That gets all of us in on that. Okay, then can you do the magic of tabulation? Mark Rigford, by the way, is joining us this morning, representing purchasing, which he does marvelously and making certain our processes being appropriately handled.
If I may, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
As Mark and Kelly are doing tabulation, the fact that you've only voted for 4 firms kind of leaves an open door for 3 other firms. It might be applicable to take a look at the firms that didn't receive many votes and eliminate them.
Doesn't our choosing top 3 firms eliminate
simply because we've gone through, 7 different brochures. And there may be someone, they say, maybe that brochure didn't capture the essence. Here's what my experience was with them, and here's what they do. I just don't know. These, we have city staff who live in this world and probably have contacts with these people.
The difficulty with that is then how do we, then don't we have to re-rank?
Out of 4 out of rank what their comments may be about these little ones that they had in dealings with them and not had dealings with more.
Community and who has something. I see Commissioner Reed.
Thank you. Not a lot of work in Florida. We run a company in the Chicago area that does stuff there. Of course, I look back and I see the state of the area they come from. I don't even know which one they are. AKA, they give us a lot of information on what they had done. They made
But I did look into the ones that I could. I bet you, Rob.
you know, the flake, they've done placement. They've done some situations where they had to place people. For me.
Mr. McLeod.
Thank you. And I agree with the thoughts that have been shared. I think early on, as I was looking at the firms, was
social media, stalk them all, and with their websites and their LinkedIn and see their followers and what kind of innovation district to have downtown development go excitingly in a great direction. So image, and then so you know how they brand themselves and the approach they made for the cities that they're recruiting for, which they're recruiting.
Commissioner Madden, excellent. And Commissioner Reed.
Thank you. There again, I appreciate what everyone has to say. There again, I looked at it from the think it's important that we stick where the pool they're going to come from. And so there again, that's why I selected the groups that I had, a couple of from the Southeast and then Texas. It's very similar to Florida in our mentality and culture from my standpoint. But that's why I really selected those groups. It was, I think it's imperative, and I hope we get some excellent candidates. And it's going to be interesting for the rest of our meeting. Thank you.
That Commissioner Walker had scored as a So ADA has a total of 2 points. Colin Basinger has a total of 19 points. CPS has a total of 2 points. HR Gov has a total of 12 points. Ralph Anderson has a total of 15 points. And Mercer has a total of 6 points.
SGR you didn't do.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Kelly. Ralph Anderson has 14 points and SGR has 15 points. Mercer remains with 6.
And in this scoring, you gave 3 points to number 1, 2 points to number 2, and 1 point to number 3?
No, sir. I gave 4 points to the first place, 3 points to the second, 2 points for a third, and 1 point for 4.
Okay, fine, as we had stated. So that makes our top Colin, HR, Gov. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Ralph Anderson Associates and SGR.
SGR has 15 points and Ralph Anderson has 14 points.
And Colin Basinger has 19.
Yes, sir.
So those are our top 3 to discuss. So now it would be good weigh in if we have some comments from any of the city management team on the use or familiarity with those three firms, SGR, Ralph Anderson, and Cullen Basinger from bottom up?
I'll go ahead and start, and then I'll let Emily chime in. You've picked three
Thank you. The rain was interesting. I didn't know it was this way, but went back and did a quick analysis. It looks like for me, Ralph Anderson and in the last couple of years have only picked city manager. Have placed one city manager, and that's the only one they've done. While if you go to Collins,
in second place. So I again trust the process as well, and I think we should move on.
Commissioner Cloud.
Similar to
weighing in on that. Okay, so does somebody want to make a motion then to approve them as the firm? That would be Commissioner Walton. Is there a second? Commissioner McLeod? Okay, discussion by commissioners.
I kind of like to look to cities and really emulate more than represent Fortune 500 companies, over 50 of them, and I think that that's kind of, when they're culture and the soft skills a little bit more. Then Ralph Anderson, I really like I said, let's see. Of course, I think that's pretty good. And the other, even how SGR said it in their strategic Q&A, problem solving, make them do something kind of outside of the box.
Get a solid pick in this as well.
Obviously, we would reach out to the firms as soon as possible right after this meeting. If this is something the commission as a whole wanted to do, try to schedule something as soon as possible, hopefully within the next, if not this week, next week, so that, and because of the fact that there's travel involved, it'd probably be done virtually. That's sometimes unfortunate when you're wanting to get a look and feel, but it would probably be done virtually. I would come in and and do a presentation for you about their skills, what they've done in the past, their process, and then based upon what we would normally do in an RFP process when we bring people in, we would then re-rank if that was necessary.
Emily, do you have anything else you'd like to add to that?
It all depends on what you guys want. So obviously the firms are highly responsive. So if you guys just want to do individual phone calls to the representative assigned in the proposal, or if you want a formal presentation like Tony described as a group and then have group discussion. But I mean, keep in mind, even if you do the individual phone calls, you still have to meet back as a group to vote. So, I mean, it's your guys'
Sync, and maybe these would be about half an hour each, 20 minutes, half an hour each. That's what we would listen.
Mr. Mayor, I would like to note that because obviously you as a city commissioner serving as
We can begin discussion about our alternatives. If we vote for it, yes, and we approve them, then the discussion's over. So I think it'll impact the vote. And Zoom call Friday.
Friday morning, I believe I can do Friday morning.
Mayor, I will second the motion. I'll second the motion.
Okay.
Oh, you'll second. Firms so that they can make a presentation that we would keep those presentations in 20, maybe the 20-minute side and 10 minutes or so for questions. So And frankly, 8 o'clock start isn't an imposition for others, is better than not. Check your calendar, sir.
Thank you. I need to check. I'm supposed to close from real estate Friday. I don't know what time it's going to be yet, so I need to confirm what time they set up. Because I just returned back. I knew we were supposed to close on Friday, so I know.
Well, tentatively, and then have some discussion following and make a selection on Friday. Commissioner Reed.
You know, if we're going to do it that early, that Anderson's from California, they're going to be getting
Yes,
up
sir.
awful early to make a presentation to us.
We'll make them last. How's that?
Somebody can't make it. How do you want to handle that?
I think they're self-deselecting.
I was only going to raise the point that the recruiter assigned from Ralph Anderson and Associates is not in California. So, as Commissioner Manning pointed out.
Gotcha. Mr. Cook.
I just want to clarify.
Very, very well for us. If there's no other business, is there a motion to adjourn? Commissioner Mann has other business, I think.
I just wanted to bring up, I knew that on Monday, it was, kind of a have to get them all because right now with our national climate, police really don't need to have take 2 weeks to come up, it has ended the first meeting and then And I hated for it to devolve to a mass. Dedicated to Migrant Farm and helping these community spread people of all ages. Right now, which is great. We have more capacity, which is what the slow this spread is for, so we could make sure our hospitals weren't over. House and your business has been shut down and lost your job and you've had mandate after mandate and you don't even know a single person who's ever had the virus. But worse mass is a shutdown. We're not going to have a mask mandate. We're certainly mask not panacea. I think that we all know it's just I think people think this is not real. People are forcing us to do all these things. It's not mass or yeah, but me, it's all of us sport mass. But you know, even just because in Wuhan, there were 7 people, and I remember consider what party affiliation you have.
Making any would not be probably have hospital capacity. It's a matter of that. It's a matter of whether or not we can weather this. Thinking in that moment. That are just about action than it is. Have the motion made and then second to the noble than any they want to do.
Thanks. In our community.
I know what to do. Wow, it's here.
We saw a lot of public comment day. So we should be
Make that separate and electronic.
I think we need to, if we're going to do something else on masking, I think we need to postpone the following week.
Can we do it at 10 a.m.?
for attention. I feel like that's on today's meeting already, that everyone mentioned. In 2009. We're going to do
like motorcycle helmets, I have to wear them because it's helmet law.
One to all of us, and we've all gotten individuals. Well, I think one of the ones I've read is, and Brant Merritt, a number of time see the tally that's come from this. Require a spike in the cases until there. So far, and pray that this continues to be the case, our death rate in Polk County has not gone positive. And every precaution we can to protect of laws is not a thing. A duty
by the reality. They wear the masks. We're not. We about these numbers. Doesn't begin to be it's the
that was on the I do respect
situation has hit me early on. I've had another local elected official, as part of our Florida Black Caucus of local elected officials who have dealt with it and just finally coming back, I guess, to somewhat normalcy from dealing with the COVID-19 situation. So I know it's real. I've been having the first-hand experiences in those two examples. And I know it's important that we deal with what we need to deal with, my fellow colleagues, to make sure that our lickenders are protected and done. And of course, public safety is number one for us, and it should be. But I also know I don't want to miss out on conversation to make sure that we're doing what's best. And I have my opinion or my comments being shared as well. So if I heard you correct, because again, I stepped out, we're moving toward, I guess, what Commissioner Madden initially was indicating, that we do some more aggressive marketing kind of situations for through what I see web sources, or whatever we can do to make sure our general public knows all we can say about what's best and how you can do what's best to protect yourselves and your family, etc. Am I saying that correct?
Yes, sir. I don't think there's an appetite for the commission to pass an emergency order. The goal is to do a better job of communicating that there's COVID-19 out there.
And we're not having the call meeting, I guess another meeting of it. When I stepped out momentarily,
we haven't gotten to that point, no, but I would suspicion that that's not going to be desired, but I might be wrong.
Okay, I just want to make sure I knew where it was as I stepped back in. So I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Get as much information out as we can. Just blast the airways as best we can. Of course, we're doing our own thing as best we can, and to make sure people understand. And I think, as I've seen from many comments, as many of you all got some comments, pros and cons. We got quite a few folks through Facebooking, I know, they're aware of it. Social media, they're aware of it. But how many others, as is indicated, like Commissioner McLeod said about his own wife, and my own confine that may not be as informed as best as we want them to be.
Correct, and we have people who are fearful for their lives. Commissioner McCarley.
Commissioner Reed was ahead of me.
I apologize, Commissioner Reed.
Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate it. There again, I don't know how many of you get the real edition of the Lakeland Ledger. I do. And I didn't have a chance to read it this morning, but I did open it up, and on the front page, there's a big article, to mask or not to mask. And there again, I think if we get the Ledger and the Tampa edition of the Polk County, maybe the Winter Haven News Chief, if we have them do something on it, that would be a big plus. There again, social media, a lot of people don't do social media. Most do, but invariably a lot don't. And then again, I think if we could get the newspapers to do something on the front page, it's maybe not the news they want to put on, but invariably I think it'd be a big plus, and it would get the media stuff out there a lot quicker than trying to do social media and their own little marketing campaign.
Which they've been doing consistently the last several weeks. Commissioner McCarley.
I agree with the communication that I think, as Commissioner Franklin stated, just on us alone as city commissioners, there are, after he said the social media of our personal pages, there are pictures of us going fishing and doing things like that where we weren't wearing a mask. So shame on us for not promoting it even personally. I will say the communications piece that Commissioner Madden has requested, I completely concur with and agree with, that I don't know that we have gone to the ends of